Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and thanks for checking in. Meteorologist Todd Nelson here with your forecast. And lingering showers out there today, more spotty into the afternoon, and then gradual clearing Thursday and Friday. A few more showers arrive Saturday, but a bigger storm system Sunday night and Monday. So still with this unsettled weather pattern. The reason for showers and even some thunderstorms is that cool front. Again, that'll continue to shift east. So as we approach midday, that shower potential is going to be much lighter. Still a few sprinkles or light rain showers into the afternoon. And as I mentioned, Thursday to Friday will start to gradually clear out. But heading into the middle part of the month, it does appear that we'll hold on to some of those cooler than average conditions. Time now for our Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. Noticing that New York will have some showers, the same front working through, dropping temperatures to 68 there on Friday. And of course, if you're heading to Florida, still very warm. Just a few leftover showers from our panhandle to panhandle. Precipitation amounts generally less than a couple of tenths of an inch, but our temperatures will be much cooler into the 50s and 60s. As we travel to the east, maybe a quarter of an inch in some spots. Again, Papa, nearly a quarter of an inch, 73 degrees on our Wednesday, but trending much cooler for the end of the week. And again, as we travel to the central part of the state, you can see precipitation amounts around a couple to a few tenths of an inch. Isolated thunderstorms still can't be ruled out early. Again, mainly just some spotty stuff into the afternoon, and then Bluefield to Welch around half an inch to maybe 6/10 of an inch, with temperatures still running a little bit on the milder side, right around 70 degrees. Again, gradual clearing on Thursday and Friday. Friday looking a little warmer, more showers though on Saturday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
More spending ahead of the primary election coming up next week. We'll dive into the numbers. Kasey Russell would be a good get too. Kasey Russell from West Virginia Strong will join us. Brad McElhinny. It's MetroNews Talkline. We are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave Wilson of Morgantown. TJ Meadows is in Charleston. And you are listening in on one of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. Might also be watching on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube as well. Gang's all here. Ethan Collins is our audio producer today. He also handles the phones, so if you call 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255, Ethan is the one you'll initially speak to. He'll put you through to the two of us, and we'll have ourselves a very civil conversation. You can also text us, 304-TALK-304. Oftentimes the texts are not so civil, but that's the fun of it, right? 304-TALK-304 is the text line. Jake Link handling the video stream this morning. Say good morning to TJ Meadows from the Charleston studios. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning. And if you are a Kasey Russell fan, sir, I would recommend The Diplomat on Netflix. Have you seen that one?
No, I have not.
That's a good one. Something to binge watch.
You know, see, here's what I did. See, I made the mistake earlier this morning as I was writing the initial rundown. And I said, don't do that. And then it was in my head. And what is the first thing I do? I did the thing I said, don't do. We'll see how many times that happens here at the bottom of the hour, by the way.
Let me tell you something.
Keep track.
If that is the worst thing you do this week, you're doing okay.
Well, it's only Wednesday, TJ. It's only
Give it time.
Wednesday. We'll talk to Kasey Russell coming up, bottom of the hour. Thornton Cooper will also join us. He's one of the Democrats seeking the party's nomination for U.S. Senate. He'll join us in the second hour. Yesterday, as this program was unfolding, there was a hearing in a Kanawha County courtroom regarding the residency of one of the state Senate candidates. Brad McElhinny was covering that hearing for us, and he joins us on MetroNews Talkline to lead things off this morning. Brad, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Okay. I heard Brad. Now I don't hear Brad. Did you hear Brad, TJ?
Nope.
Okay, I'm the only one. Brad, you there? Oh, we can see him. We checked this just a minute ago. All right. For those in Radio Land, Brad is giving us spirit fingers as we speak right at the moment. I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. Let's get Brad situated. I'll check in on the video side of things, make sure we're all good to go. Let's go ahead and take the early break. What do you say, TJ? We'll get Brad situated. We checked this a minute ago. He was fine. So there you go. We're off to a running good start. We'll be back in a moment. We'll get to Brad. This is Talkline on Metro News from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
5, 3. For your daily fix of sports in West Virginia, there's only one stop.
I would imagine a group of you got together and watched the Mountaineers last night. What were your thoughts on that performance?
It was funny, we were sitting with a guy last night, and he said, all right, I'm going to go put $1,000 on it. Well, down the stretch of that ball game, he's looking at us like, are you kidding me? And sure enough, the Mountaineers came back. I saw him today. He said, yep, I'm putting another $1,000 on them tomorrow.
Sportsline on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. and they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
All right, we got it squared away. Must say, that was a great setup for Brad McElhinny as well. Let's bring him into the program. Hi, Brad.
Oh, hi, guys. I played that trick where I just moved my lips but said nothing. So this was a residency dispute in a broad swath of the state. Preston County, Tucker, Grant, Hardy, Mineral County, and part of Taylor County. And, you know, if you're listening out there and you are a resident of that area, this would directly affect you. But let me tell you how it would affect everybody else, all the other listeners around the state. There is, as our loyal listeners know, a divide among candidates who generally fall into support for or alignment with former State Senate Majority Leader Tom Takubo, sort of a more business-focused center-right group, and then another group that is more in line with Governor Morrisey. Governor Morrisey, in some cases, has endorsed these candidates. In some cases, PACs associated with Morrisey have spent for some of these candidates. But they also align with wanting to retain the existing state Senate structure with Randy Smith at the top. So Jay Taylor is the incumbent in the district, in the state Senate. Jay is on the ballot, and he is the president pro tem, so a leadership position in the Senate. One of the two Republican challengers is Mark Harmon, and Harmon is the candidate whose residency was questioned in this court case. Without dispute, Mark Harmon has long-standing roots in the area. Grew up in Petersburg. His family has a long history in the area. Mark Harmon represented a House of Delegates district from the area 5 terms. But his life led him to Charleston during his working years, and he went back to Petersburg in October, began to redefine his life again in the Petersburg area this past October. If you purely measure from that October date to next November's general election, he's got a month's leeway. But this was a question about whether he is truly living in the area, whether he now really has set down adequate roots. How would you prove that? So these were questions that would potentially have knocked him off the ballot, and knocking him off the ballot certainly would have been a win for sort of the governor's backed team and Randy Smith's backed team. But it didn't happen in the end. Long story short, didn't happen. Mark Harmon's going to be on your ballot.
Brad, was there any discussion as to why this issue was raised so late? The suit was filed, I believe, after early voting had started, certainly after the ballots had been printed. I'm curious, as the judge had questions yesterday, as the counterparties exchanged notes, etc., any conversation about why it took so long for this resolution to enter the court process?
There was no explanation, but I will say that the judge and attorneys for Harmon raised the issue of the timing. You know, the judge ruled on several things. He has essentially said that Mark Harmon had been able to prove that he has set up shop in the Petersburg area, that he meets the burden of proof. But also a secondary point mentioned by the judge was voting is going on. He said that he described himself, the judge, as reluctant to intervene at this time while people are voting. The lawyers for Harmon said that through yesterday, the trial point, the hearing point, about 1,300 people had early voted, and that another 100 or so had submitted their absentee ballots. And, minute by minute, as this hearing went on, it was really a 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. hearing. People were voting at that time. It was happening 1 week out from Election Day. So, to remove a candidate who's already on your ballot, who is already receiving votes, that would have been, I think that would have been a heavy burden for the judge to make that ruling.
MetroNews statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. What took so long, Brad? This was a 4-hour hearing. It seemed like the evidence was pretty clear as far as how Mark Harmon established his residency. What took so long? What was the case that the other side was trying to make?
Well, how do you prove where you live? How do you
question?
How do you document your life? And the bottom line was that Mark Harmon, who took the stand, as did separately his wife, talked about where he lives. He's got really 3 homes. He's got an apartment in Petersburg, but there's also a family home a family farm that he shares with his siblings. He and his wife share a home together in Charleston. She still largely lives there because she's got a variety of family obligations. There is a vacation home in North Carolina. But, in addition to all that, the plaintiff's attorney, Anthony Magistro, explored a lot of documentation about how do you define where your home is. And so, for example, there was a lot of exploration of Mark Harmon's electric bill. When did it begin? Got the first bill October 31st of last year. There was how do you even get this? There was an average cost explored in court of $22 for the power. Magistro sent his legal assistant to call the power company to find out what is an average monthly power bill in Petersburg. Turns out, fun fact, $66. So the insinuation was, well, you must be barely there if you're paying $22 a month compared to $66. It got down into that level of detail. Do you know your neighbors? Can you name them? Where do you get your haircut? Where do you go for your dinner? I slid the name of the restaurant into the story, by the way. And, if you want to put a positive Yelp review, you can. Cheetah Bees. Cheetah Bees is the Petersburg restaurant that Mark Harmon prefers. Did you decorate your Petersburg apartment for Christmas? I mean, it was an incredible level of detail, all designed to define a life and to be able to say where you live. And it had Mark Harmon on the witness stand as well as Mrs. Harmon.
If I don't put up a tree, am I just a Scrooge, or does that mean I'm disqualified for running for office? I mean, this whole thing is like a farce, in my opinion. With that said, politically, Brad, optically, is there a negative effect on Harmon? Forget the ruling for a second, which I think Lindsey got right. Don't take him off the ballot. That would be ludicrous. But are there political, optical undertones that affect Harmon now in this race, that the issue is raised and it has become a matter of public awareness?
If you wanted to raise the issue of Mark Harmon's residency, whether he's truly currently deeply rooted in the district, that did the trick. I mean, so we're talking about it today as the lead item. It's twice been the subject of MetroNews coverage online and on the radio. It has come, this issue, right in the middle of the voting. The incumbent, Jay Taylor, I got him on the phone, and he was perfectly happy to say, I have heard, Jay Taylor, people asking, where does Mark Harmon truly live? So, yeah, I mean, it's as a campaign issue, it's been front and center. I think it's hard to do polls of these Senate districts, especially in an era of cell phones. People don't pick up. This district in particular is very rural. I mean, if you're a pollster and you're trying to get someone with good cell service on the line to answer who would you vote for? Tough to do, but friend of the program, State Navigate, did do a poll in late March. So keep that in mind. The poll has a little bit of dust on it, but it showed, what they showed was Jay Taylor, the incumbent, with 15% in their poll. Mark Harmon, who comes from who is in a more highly populated area of the district, so probably that's an advantage, with 18% of the vote. Mike Minniepenny, the third candidate, former Democratic delegate, now running as a Republican with 8%, but undecided 59%. So if you're trying to sway those undecided, might as well go for it. Even if you don't win in court, it's a message that I think is probably getting out to those folks.
He's Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. You can read his story over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Brad, quickly, about a minute, maybe 2 minutes here. As the Greenbrier turns, did the senator insinuate, does that rhyme, that he had judicial influence in West Virginia when he was talking to the TRT Holdings and Omni people, or did he not? This sounds like a he said, she said billion-dollar dispute going on here, Brad.
Well, technically, I would say, I don't know. But, people always said of Jim Justice, especially when he was governor, that, he talks like the people, that he's folksy. He's very plain-spoken, people would say. So, what was said and how did he say it, I am not sure. Also, I think that how did he say it, if something was said, is probably crucial. But the allegation, which was a secondary point in a new filing by Omni Hotels and Resorts, which is competing for control of the Greenbrier, was that when they met with Justice and his attorney at the Greenbrier, there was this statement, well, if you go to court, then you're never going to be able to win in West Virginia because, they know me. I don't know if that was said or how it was said. I don't know. I will say, in defense of the Greenbrier County judge who has the local case, he was not named to the bench by Justice. He originally was named to the bench by Earl Ray Tomlin, Justice predecessor, and then has twice won election from the people in that district. Steve Ruby, who is counsel for the Justice family in this case, said that the claims by the Omni owners about influence of the courts categorically false. At no point, Ruby said, was there any claim that a fair trial could not be obtained in West Virginia. The West Virginia Democratic Party, not one to see a situation go to waste, has asked for the U.S. Senate Ethics Committee to take a look at this. So, who knows? Maybe they'll take an interest. We will see. But we here in the court of public opinion, we have no way of knowing.
Well, you hit it. It's the court of public opinion. It seems to me like this is being tried in the press. How do you get a jury of your peers that's not somehow influenced from all of the coverage? That's another reason I think it's all about negotiation. This isn't going to trial. It's all about, public perception. How do you get pressure to bring your pricing into play or make the other guy look bad so that he's willing to give a little bit? I don't see how you would get a fair resolution, not because of judges or influence. I mean, everybody and their brother at this point who could be on a jury surely knows about this. I mean, right or wrong, Dave? I mean,
I think you could find 12 people who aren't paying attention to this. Yeah, I think that'd be.
But in Greenbrier County, could you?
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In Greenbrier County? Sure. You could find 12 people. I could find 12 people in this building that don't even know this show's going on right now. Well, actually, I don't know if there are 12 people in the building currently, but give me time. I could find them, guys.
Maybe my expectations are too high. I don't know.
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. Brad, always appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you soon.
Hey, thanks. Take care.
304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255 is the phone number. We have been keeping track. In fact, TJ has the mother of all spreadsheets developed, keeping track of the Political Action Committee spending heading into this primary. And TJ, you noted last night that with just days to go to the primary, if it's possible, the spending's actually ratcheting up, and we are nearing, I believe the note you sent, we're nearing $4.5 or a little over $4.5 million in Political Action Committee spending total, headed, or at least the ones we're tracking, heading into this May 12th primary?
Yeah, so we're tracking the West Virginia Chamber, Mountaineer Freedom Alliance. Those are quote-unquote Takubo tied faction PACs, right? So then you've got Mountaineer Conservative Action, School Freedom Fund, Make Liberty Win, Sugar Maple PAC, I should say, and the AFP that kind of tend more to the Morrissey side. All of those put together, We are now approaching $4.7 million spent just by those 7 PACs on Senate and House races, predominantly in the Senate. Get this, Deeds versus Comer, that 10th race, Dave, $523,000 spent. $392,000 spent in the 8th, Bartlett, Eschenhauer, Wheeler. $691,000. Call it 7. Why not? Call it $700,000 spent in the 17th, Takubo v. Pritt. $700,000. One PAC in one day, yesterday, spent $200,000. That was the School Freedom Fund. In one day, they spent $200,000 on this race.
Is it unreasonable to think by the time we actually get to Tuesday that race alone could be pushing $1 million?
I think it's completely fair. People I trust that know this better than I do, that have been at it longer than I do, say they believe just in the primary, the Republican primary, you could see $8 to $10 million spent on legislative races for the primary.
We'll continue the discussion coming up other side of the news break. Kasey Russell from West Virginia Strong is going to join us. We'll get her take on this crazy primary season. Later, Thornton Cooper, running for the United States Senate, the Democrat nomination for Senate, will join us in the second hour. This is Talkline on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 10:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and thanks for checking in. Meteorologist Todd Nelson here with your forecast. And lingering showers out there today, more spotty into the afternoon, and then gradual clearing Thursday and Friday. A few more showers arrive Saturday, but a bigger storm system Sunday night and Monday. So still with this unsettled weather pattern. The reason for showers and even some thunderstorms is that cool front. Again, that'll continue to shift east. So as we approach midday, that shower potential is going to be much lighter. Still a few sprinkles or light rain showers into the afternoon. And as I mentioned, Thursday into Friday will start to gradually clear out. But heading into the middle part of the month, it does appear that we'll hold on to some of those cooler than average conditions. Time now for our Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. Noticing that New York will have some showers, the same front working through, dropping temperatures to 68 there on Friday. And of course, if you're heading to Florida, still very warm. Just a few leftover showers from our panhandle to panhandle. Precipitation amounts generally less than a couple of tenths of an inch, but our temperatures will be much cooler into the 50s and 60s. As we travel to the east, maybe a quarter of an inch in some spots. Again, Papa, nearly a quarter of an inch, 73 degrees on our Wednesday, but trending much cooler for the end of the week. And again, as we travel to the central part of the state, you can see precipitation amounts around a couple to a few tenths of an inch. Isolated thunderstorms still can't be ruled out early. Again, mainly just some spotty stuff into the afternoon, and then Bluefield to Welch around half an inch to maybe 6/10 of an inch, with temperatures still running a little bit on the milder side, right around 70 degrees. Again, gradual clearing on Thursday and Friday. Friday looking a little warmer, more showers though on Saturday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
304 Talk 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255. The phone number. We'll get to your text coming up in just a bit. News breaking this hour. Ted Turner has died. The founder of CNN, philanthropist, I know him as the Braves owner. That's where I remember. But Ted Turner passing away. He really invented 24. I mean, he invented 24-hour cable news.
Yeah. I mean, CNN was it. You remember, CNN was just up and really getting going during the first Gulf War. And remember how they scooped everybody because they somehow were able to maintain their technology and keep on the air? I mean, Turner was brilliant. Like the guy, don't like the guy. I mean, his business savvy, brilliant. Big into wrestling, too. Or as Dave Allen would say, wrestling.
Wrestling. Yeah.
Big into that, so.
Yeah, Ted Turner passing away. That, of course, CNN scooping everybody on that, as they should.
Yeah, exactly.
With the announcement this morning. 304 Talk 304, the text line 800-765-8255. So we have talked a lot. We just gave you the update on the Political Action Committee spending on this primary race. What does all of that mean? What do you make of it? We're all trying to figure that out. So we'll add another voice to the conversation this morning. Kasey Russell is political director with West Virginia Strong. West Virginia Strong works to understand what a majority of West Virginians want their political leaders to prioritize and communicates those priorities to policymakers and the public. Kasey joins us from the Encova Insurance Studios in Charleston. Kasey, good morning. Thanks for stopping by.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
What do you make of all this? You're watching all this as well as we are. The Political Action Committee spending, the out-of-state dollars flooding in for a legislative primary race. What do you think about all this?
Well, you know, we were at West Virginia Strong doing our Protect campaign of some House of Delegates members, and we were all positive and, you know, saying, hey, here's Vernon Cress. He's a great guy. Vote for him. And then all of a sudden, we started noticing the massive amounts of money flowing into West Virginia. And it took a lot of research and a lot of flow charts to kind of try to put it all together. And we're not still 100%, you know, sure of all of it. But it looks like it's coming from, as you all know, a few billionaires. B as in boy, billionaires. Like one, for instance, Jeff Yass, who you guys have talked about on the radio. He's the richest man in Pennsylvania. And he's spending a fortune in West Virginia. And I think it's frightening. I think it's scary that, you know, out-of-state billionaires are focusing so much on our state. What do they want? Why are they spending so much money? I feel like it's at the detriment of our people. And as you mentioned at the very beginning, we've done research, we've done polling, so we know what our citizens want. We know what people want here. And they want public schools funded. They want, you know, security, jobs, a good economy. And I feel like having out-of-state money flow in like that is not healthy, not good for our political system in our state.
So as you take a look at Jeff Yass and his background across the country and what he's done, and I will note, by my reckoning, and everybody's probably a little bit different to the penny, I show $154,000 spent on the House race in the 12th, and that's primarily Hartzog versus Chris, who's the incumbent. Those are the two Republicans.
Yep.
What do you think Yass wants out of this? Because why would he put all this money up if he doesn't want something, to your point?
He wants to help his billionaire buddies.
Do what?
Make some more money? I don't know. Like, if you look at, like, you know, the school funding formula, and you look at, you know, the Hope Scholarship situation, you know, we have diverted now, let's see, just this year, about $52 million out of the state. Next year, it looks like $230 million, perhaps. So where is that money going? You know, is that going? Where is it going? And why is it not going to fund our public schools? And if you look at what he does in Pennsylvania, he fights for the privatization of schools. And
of all schools, he doesn't want any public schools?
Not that in my research, no.
Interesting.
And he also looks to lower the tax rate for the wealthiest Pennsylvanians. So what is he doing here? That's a great question for voters to ask. Why is he interested so much in funding these folks? I mean, there's a whole list of them that he's funding, and it's aggressive, it's nasty, it's like a targeted campaign. It's not just negative campaigning, it's shady. It's a coordinated effort funded by these out-of-state billionaires.
Talking to Kasey Russell with West Virginia Strong. How do West Virginians punch back against this?
That's a great question.
Can you punch back against this type of money?
I don't know. I don't know that you can. I mean, I am idealistic. I still feel that people are smart and they will see that there's an out-of-state billionaire trying to buy their votes and buy their elected officials. And that person, ask yourselves, like, if these folks are elected, who are they going to answer to? Are they going to answer to their neighbor, to their constituents? Is that out-of-state billionaire, does he really care about, your children, our grandchildren? And so I feel like the word has to get out. And we've done mailers, we've done a video, which I think you guys maybe saw, about the out-of-state billionaire funding and taking away all of our money from public schools. I think it's a shocking video that I hope shows that West Virginians, this is not a good idea. Please research, learn who you're voting for and who's taking this out. Not that they're taking the out-of-state money, but who the out-of-state billionaire is actually funding.
So this race that we're talking about, the 12th, since we're talking about Vernon Criss v. Charles Hartzog, I think it's a good illustration of what you're talking about, because I want to make sure we frame this the right way. I don't think anybody would say that Vernon Criss is a liberal. I don't think anybody would say that Vernon Criss is against school choice, at least if they're being honest. Now, does he want to make sure that we can pay for it? Absolutely. And I think that's a fair characterization. But when you look at his opponent, Hartzog, I mean, I don't know anything about the guy, yet they're pouring most of this money either to his campaign or in opposition of Criss. None of this money is really benefiting Vernon Criss. No. So my question to you is this, now that we've framed it. Will voters see that? Is it just about the money, or is it still about the candidate? Do you still have to have, even if you have a ton of money, do you have to have a candidate that has some bona fides, some oomph in order to get elected?
Okay, so you're back to my idealism. Yes, you've got to be able to, know that you can find Vernon Criss in the grocery store and talk to him and his heart is in West Virginia, right? I mean, it can't just be that whoever has the most money wins. I mean, look at the Takuba race. That's outrageous, all the money coming in against him. And you have to know, I mean, these are guys who work for us. They don't work for Jeff Yass. So I really hope that people can see past all the money and all the, I'm assuming lies about some of these really nice individuals. I mean, like you said, Vernon Criss is not a liberal.
No.
Neither is Tom Takubo.
No.
Neither is Vince Deeds.
No.
I mean, they're just not. And to portray them as like out of touch liberals is ridiculous. It's hurtful. It's dishonest.
Talking to Kasey Russell, West Virginia Strong, and that's the part of this that I actually find a little bit perplexing. The out-of-state interests don't have any idea how big the districts are, where they are, or how these are situated, especially when it comes to the House races, Kasey. The House districts are so small, the chances are you probably actually know the person. You've seen him or her. Go to church with them, possibly. See them at the grocery store. Your kids play ball. Your grandkids play ball together. These are very tightly knit, especially on the House side. Some of the Senate districts sprawl a little bit, but on the House side, these are very tightly knit districts. So I'm curious to see if the messaging actually works for people who actually know these candidates. They're not just a name, not just a photo that you might get in some of these bigger states and these bigger districts.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the House districts are easier to protect because you're right. You're gonna run into these folks in the grocery store and in your church. But the Senate is a little bit more complicated than that. And I want to get back to a point too about just, we do a lot of polling and research to really determine what West Virginians care about. And 60% of West Virginians support guardrails on the Hope Scholarship. And I think that's, guardrails. So like Vernon Criss and Scott Heckard, both of them spoke out about that, about getting some guardrails on this. Overwhelming majority support increasing pay for educators. So people really love and appreciate and value their local public schools. And I think if you look at Jeff Yass, taking him, that's what his goal is, to privatize schools.
Yeah.
So we don't want him here.
I'll give him one thing. He puts his name on it.
He does.
He's not hiding it behind and laundering it, I guess, for lack of a better word, in a 501c4. I mean, he gave money to Sugar Maple PAC. He and Thomas Klingenstein, I think, north of $600,000. And that PAC has raised about $1 million. So I'll give him that. Your group, however, what I'm hearing you say, I'm going to use a nasty word in politics, moderate.
Yeah.
you all strike me as an organization that wants to find common ground and solutions that can, people can rally around rather than the far extremes. Confirm that if I'm right. And two, talk about why that's the right path in politics.
Thank you for that question. So, yeah, you're right. I feel like all the research that we do, it's not just targeted to Republicans or Democrats. It's everybody. So it's Republicans, Democrats, no party affiliation, independents. And what we're finding is that people want to evolve around, get beyond this red and blue stigma and have real conversations. And I know it doesn't look like that on social media, perhaps, but when you sit down, you go get your car serviced and you talk to the folks there, you sit down and actually talk. You have so much in common. Like, we all want what's best for the state. We just need the leaders to determine that. We all want a great economy. We all want jobs. And I think that especially like the new independent movement, I mean, we're all looking to clean up the current political system, reach across the aisle, and really do what's best for our community and for our state. And I hope that West Virginia Strong can kind of fill that void and give voice to the majority of us and support the success of our elected officials who are listening to our constituents and being elected by their people.
Got about a minute here, Kasey. What do people want? What are you finding? What are they, we've had an entire primary campaign on who's the most conservative. I'm more conservative than you and what's conservative, but what are the voters telling your organization that they actually want? About 60 seconds here.
Well, they want jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They want a thriving economy. They want security. They want funded public schools. They want adequate, affordable, accessible health care. I said those would be the primary things. They want to deal with the inflation. And just before we part ways, I did want to let you know that I'm from Atlanta. So I feel Ted Turner right now. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Kasey Russell, West Virginia Strong. You can check out their work. It's wvstrong.org. Correct, Kasey?
That is correct.
Right. Thank you very much for stopping by. We'll see how it all plays out the next couple of days.
Yeah, I'm so curious. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you stopping by. Bob in Charleston, we'll get to your call coming up other side of the break. We'll get to text as well, 304-TALK-304. The phone number is 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
For over 30 years, High Technology Foundation has been committed to building a stronger West Virginia. Our mission, economic diversification. By fostering innovation and supporting tech initiatives, we pave the way for a brighter future. From cutting-edge research to tech-driven solutions, we're transforming the landscape. Join us in creating opportunities and driving progress. Let's build a diverse economy together. Visit WVHTF.org. High Technology Foundation, shaping West Virginia's future.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Every day across West Virginia, healing happens here, where skilled hands and caring hearts save lives. West Virginia hospitals are more than places of care. They are lifelines for our communities. Employing nearly 54,000 people, hospitals power local economies and help communities not just survive, but thrive. During National Hospital Week, we recognize those who care for us all, because healing happens here, and its impact reaches everywhere. A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association.
Everywhere you look, people are supporting Shelley Moore Capito for Senate. President Trump has endorsed her, so has West Virginians for Life. The National Shooting Sports Foundation named her Legislator of the Year, and she's backed by workers, small business owners, and Republicans across the Mountain State. Now it's your turn. Vote early through May 9th or on Election Day, May 12th.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown! We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
The region's largest restoration firm, responding from 5 locations. When disaster strikes your home or business, call Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
800-765-TALK is the phone number, 800-765-8255. If you want to call the show, you can text us 304-TALK, 304. Let's go to Bob in Charleston. Hey, Bob, what's on your mind?
Everybody's fussing about all of this out-of-state money coming in to the campaign, and I just wonder if it's safe to assume that the money is coming in to support all of the candidates Morrissey went around the state endorsing. Just a thought.
Well, Bob, the short answer is yes. That's maybe a oversimplification, and thank you for the call. But TJ, we've looked at this. The PACs with all of the out-of-state, I don't want to say all the out. That's a broad, sweeping generalization. But most of the out-of-state money that we are talking about here are, in fact, endorsing candidates that either the governor has supported or there are indications that they support him. I think that's a fair assessment.
That's absolutely fair. Just look at Sugar Maple because it's easy to look at one PAC at a time. Total spent in the 1st Senate District, just shy of $100,000 in support of Chapman against Joe Eddy. Clearly, one's a Morrissey candidate endorsed, and when it comes to Eddy, Morrissey didn't even acknowledge him. He was acknowledging Chapman against Fluharty. It holds the same when you look at the Bartlett race. They've spent $87,000 there in support of Bartlett. Vince Deeds, they have spent, Sugar Maple PAC, opposing Vince Deeds, and Morrissey backs Comer. They have spent $215,000 in opposition of Vince Deeds, and they've spent $24,000, almost $25,000, to support Jonathan Comer. So the answer, Bob, Dave, yes, absolutely.
Couple of texts here, 304-TALK, 304. Voters are very impressionable. That's why the PACs are flooding money into the state. They wouldn't invest that much money if it didn't work. I actually agree with that to an extent. Here's what works. Chris Direwalt pointed this out, and when I brought up an article from years ago that he had written, I think it was from 2022, but we continue to be in this cycle where candidates and parties and political action committees, TJ, it's not about persuasion, it's about motivation. What motivates my people, my base, to get out to the polls? And like it or not, negative works, negative motivates. That's why they run the negative ads. That's why you're seeing these mailers that, what is Cavalier with the Truth? Is that what you said the other day? That's why you're seeing it. Negative works. Negative motivates. Doesn't persuade. It doesn't actually tackle issues like how do we grow the economy? How do we address water issues in the southern part of the state? Or how do we responsibly develop data centers? Nothing like that. But this could motivate your people, the people you support, to get to the polls. That's the difference. So to the texter's point, yes, it's impressionable, certainly.
Yeah. I would add this. When it comes to conservatives in West Virginia, think about it in thirds. Break the pie up that way. You've got the Morrissey third, right? I think you've got a third of the group out there that is solidly in the Takubo faction. And then you have that third who are largely independent conservatives. And what did we do to marginalize those folks? We closed the primary. So the battleground is really for those that have switched over to be able to vote in the Republican primary, and those on the edges of each third, Morrissey and Takubo, that could be impressionable, that will come over. But that was the whole point. I mean, let's not dance around it. That was the whole point of closing the Republican primary, to marginalize those independent conservative voters, period.
Then you have this texter. I was not going to vote in the Republican primary until I started getting calls and deceptive flyers from the stupid PACs. I told the last one I was voting for everyone they opposed. I think Morrissey has a Trump complex and wants complete control of the legislature. They are donating to the PACs to get influence with Morrissey when he's in the Senate in a few years, says the texter. Got to take our final break of the hour. Can you tell you what's coming up in hour number 2? Got $10? Then you have a shot at $50,000. Grab the new scratch-off Lion's Share, where your ticket could win a big-time prize. And watch for that 5 times multiplier, because your prize could be 5 times sweeter. Get your chance to win the lion's share of the prize today at West Virginia Lottery retailers. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly.
When it's your family, your kids, your home, your parenting time, you want somebody on the Court of Appeals who lives and breathes family law. Even if you don't win your case, you still should feel that you've been heard. I'm Jim Douglas. I'm a family court judge, and I'm asking you to put real family court experience on the Court of Appeals for your future.
Paid for by the Committee for Family Law Experience for ICA. Susan Shepard, Chair.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
Located in the heart of West Virginia, Bridgeport is the place to play. Endless indoor and outdoor recreation opportunities, including the Bridgeport Complex, coupled with a dynamic food scene, make Bridgeport the perfect getaway destination for couples and families. Explore unique shopping and pick from a wealth of lodging options to find something perfect for your needs. Explore the heart of West Virginia in Bridgeport. Learn more about all there is to do at greater-bridgeport.com.
Hi, this is Thornton Cooper. I'm a native and resident of West Virginia, a proud Democrat and a candidate for the United States Senate. My priorities are 1, to raise the basic federal minimum wage to $15 per hour, 2, to expand health care to Medicare for all, and 3, to end Trump's war on Iran. To learn more about me, visit thorntoncooper.com, and please vote for Cooper for Senate. Thank you. Paid for by Cooper for Senate.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Text into the show, Morgantown PSA. Please inform Morgantown listeners to be careful of the ducks who are getting in the road at the corner of Collins Ferry and Aspen. They're probably building a nest nearby, according to the DNR. No ducklings seen. There's your PSA. It's Talkline on Metro News, Voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and thanks for checking in. Meteorologist Todd Nelson here with your forecast. And lingering showers out there today, more spotty into the afternoon and a couple of tenths of an inch. But our temperatures will be much cooler into the 50s and 60s as we travel to the east. Maybe a quarter of an inch in some spots. Again, Papa, nearly a quarter of an inch, 73 degrees on our Wednesday, but trending much cooler for the end of the week. And again, as we travel to the central part of the state, you can see precipitation amounts around a couple to a few tenths of an inch. Isolated thunderstorms still can't be ruled out early. Again, mainly just some spotty stuff into the afternoon, and then Bluefield to Welch around half an inch to maybe 6/10 of an inch, with temperatures still running a little bit on the milder side, right around 70 degrees. Again, gradual clearing on Thursday and Friday. Friday looking a little warmer, more showers though on Saturday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit
TJ Meadows. He is in the Charleston studios this morning. TJ, good morning.
Good morning, buddy. Just let me add my voice. I hope the Ducks are okay. If you know, you know.
Watch out for the Ducks if you're in Morgantown. Which, by the way, when I first started to read that text, I thought, is the water pooling up that much that ducks are camping out on Collins Ferry Road, which is very possible around here, by the way. Watch out for the puddle. Is it raining down in Charleston this morning? We've had some big rainstorms this morning. Raining down.
Yeah,
there?
we're filling all the potholes just with stuff that won't last.
Those are the ones that scare you because you don't know they're there and you think it's just a little puddle, and the next thing you know, you're getting your right front suspension rebuilt.
Well, I came close to my third tire and rim.
Jeez.
Just yesterday. One opened up about a quarter mile from the house. Was not there. Normally, Dave, when I'm coming in, I look, I glance, if possible, at the other side of the road.
Yeah.
So I know coming back what I may hit. Make sense?
Yeah.
Well, there was a flaw in the theory. Sometime between glancing yesterday and the show and then coming back, something opened up, and man, I came close yesterday, and I was just like, ooh, your heart.
Yeah, I guess we're involved a little bit. We've talked about this. We've followed this case. So why did the board not throw this out even when the special prosecutor said, hey, there's nothing here?
So basically, the Judicial Hearing Board, they still have to, even though the investigators, the Judiciary Council recommended that these be dropped, the Judicial Hearing Board still has to make that formal recommendation. And May 4th, Tuesday, was the actual filing deadline for parties to get in any information they wanted to that. Well, that has now been extended to next Tuesday, the 11th. However, after the Judicial Hearing Board writes this recommendation, they write it and send it to the Supreme Court. And the Judicial Hearing Board very well could agree with the council and say, yeah, these need to be dropped. They write that up and send it to the state Supreme Court, who makes the final decision. They are the ones who ultimately decide this. In theory, the Supreme Court can go along with the Judicial Hearing Board's recommendation. They can alter it some, change, and just in general, they could change the discipline that they want to hand out. They could go a complete 180 and say, disagree with the Judicial Hearing Board completely. I don't think that'll happen in this case, but it's always possible. But the bottom line is the Judicial Hearing Board said they don't have the authority to dismiss this case, even if they agree with it 100%. They have to write up their opinion and send it to the Supreme Court, who will make that final decision.
Not an attorney, as everyone well knows, but have we discovered a flaw here? Because if this were John Q. Citizen and a prosecutor said, there's not enough evidence, Your Honor, we're not going to prosecute, I would think 99 times out of 100, the judge would say case dismissed. So have we found a flaw here, Chris, that needs correcting so that we could end this madness?
You know, I understand what you're saying, TJ, and I somewhat agree. But as the Judicial Hearing Board said, you know, these kind of judicial discipline proceedings are not civil nor criminal. So it, you know, I think it's kind of like another check and balance. And fortunately, we don't have a lot of issues with these judicial discipline and lawyer discipline things. That it's a major issue. It's not like we have one every week that we have to deal with. I think it's probably still good that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of these decisions, whether it's judges or attorneys. As I told you last time we talked a few weeks ago about this case, I think that the Judicial Investigation Commission's findings are appropriate in this case. I don't think Judge Akers said anything wrong when she was on your old show, but I think it's good to have another layer of protection in these types of cases.
You may have just kind of answered the question I was leaning toward here, thinking about this. Is this the system working, or is TJ brought up, or is this a flaw in the system that here's a judge made a comment, you go through the process, there's nothing there. Did the system actually work here? The system that's set up to keep an eye on judges and attorneys, did it actually work, Chris, or is there a flaw here somewhere?
I think it did work, you know, because at first they investigated everything that she said on your old show. They originally thought there's something worth looking at, and ultimately they decided that we don't think this is worth pursuing now.
One thing I'm unclear.
Think the system worked.
One thing I'm unclear about, and maybe you can help me understand it, Chris. Rachel Cipollette, who was the special counsel, I'll use that term loosely. It's not her official title in this matter. You can help me there too. She took over from Terry Tarr, who I think started this.
Yes.
Why the change? Help me understand that.
Well, from what, and I don't have all those documents in front of me right now, I think part of it was that they were going to depose Terry Tarr. And talk to her about the rules of, the rules and why this was brought about. And once they decided to depose her,
they being Akers' side, her counsel.
Yes, Judge Akers' side, her counsel wanted to depose her. I think once they made it clear that they wanted to depose her, she recused herself from the case, and Rachel Cipollette stepped in and took over. Rachel Cipollette, as you know, usually handles lawyer disciplinary proceedings. But because of this special situation, she stepped in and helped with the judicial side.
Talking with Chris Dickerson, West Virginia Record. Chris, this is not something that's come up on my radar, covering local, now statewide stuff for the last, 15, 16, 17 years or so. So how often do we actually have a situation where a judge's comments or an attorney's comments are investigated and some type of action is taken by the board and by the council?
It's not very common. I've been, with the West Virginia Record, we've been covering the legal system for 21, 22 years now, and I can only think of a handful of cases like this, like 3 or 4.
So here comes my.
And I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't remember any that have been involved in something that a judge said in the media, on a radio show or in the newspaper or on TV or anything. This is the only one I remember. That other ones, if they've said things on the campaign trail, or they have written a email that said something, but this is the first one I remember about being something in the media.
Here comes the big wind-up, and you guys can tell me I'm crazy and dismiss me, and that's fine. This thing's been a joke from the start. It was a joke with Akers. It's a joke with Sweeney. She came on the radio. She didn't say anything she shouldn't have, and talked about one of the most critical challenges that we have in the state of West Virginia. And the sooner we revamp this system and get rid of this kind of nonsense, the better. We have honest-to-goodness problems that we have to solve. I feel like on a water tower on my way home, I should see spray-painted free acres on the side of it. I mean, it's becoming very laughable. And clearly you can hear the frustration in my voice. I just don't understand it.
Well, and I understand what you're saying, TJ, and I do think in this case that, as I said, I don't think Judge Akers did or said anything improper, nothing that affected her ability as a judge. I think she just relied on her experience as a prosecutor, and she handled those child cases for many, many years when she was with the Kanawha County Prosecutor's Office. But I hope that the Supreme Court does look at something like this and say, maybe we need to address these issues and take a look at how we discipline judges and if there's a better way to do it.
He's Chris Dickerson. You can read his article over at the West Virginia Record, WVRecord.com, Chris?
Yeah, that's the easiest way to get there, yeah.
Yep, WVRecord.com. You can read it over there. Chris, always appreciate it. Thanks for giving us the latest update.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.
Absolutely. To your point, TJ, before we go to break, I want to let Chris off the hook there for just a moment. I think you're absolutely right. And I asked the question about how often does this happen? Because we interview lawyers on this show about cases, about lawsuits. I have interviewed them as a reporter. They are very, very careful with their words. They don't ever want to endanger a case or put a case in jeopardy because of something they say to us after a trial or before a trial, whatever the case may be. So they're very, very careful. That makes sense, though. An email, something out on the campaign trail might get brought up. This was said in the media, and it just reeks, as you have pointed out, of somebody, I don't know who, somebody being embarrassed or humiliated or their backside was hurting because what Judge Akers pointed out was true. Mm-hmm. She pointed out something that was true, something that needs to be addressed, and somebody didn't like it. And that's why she, and Judge Sweeney for that matter, have had to go through this entire process. Now, did the process work? I guess you could say it works if, it's all goes away and she's exonerated. But still, you've had to go through it. And now I bet, usually I don't like the chilling effect argument. I'm not a fan, but I would guess there are others out there who have watched this and say, I'm not going to get myself in that mess. I just want to serve as a judge. I just want to practice law. I'm not going to get myself in a mess here because of something innocuous that I say to, Dave and TJ.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because less people will speak. You're right. There is a chilling effect. You're also right in, I think it was personal. That's me talking. I haven't spoken to anyone, but there's a why here that we can't answer that doesn't make sense. And I don't know that why will ever be discovered, frankly. As far as the system working, sure, I guess the system worked, but my point in being critical of it is you don't need a system to work when you don't need it. We didn't need to go through this exercise. And the fact that there's no prosecutorial discretion. I mean, Cipollette said it. She said it very legally, right, in legalese, but what she was saying to the layperson like me, there's nothing here. I don't want to prosecute this. Yet we continue. So whatever the system is, somebody needs to look at it, because if we don't have deference to a prosecutor involved in it or whoever is running the investigation, that just seems silly.
It does sound like something that's set up by the government, though, doesn't it? Well, we agree, but we don't have the authority to actually end this proceeding. We got to run it all the way to the top. All right, 304-TALK, 304. That's the text line, 800-765-8255. We'll check in with Jared Halpern, Fox News Radio in Washington, D.C. Is there a deal with Iran in the works? What's happening with the Strait of Hormuz? We'll get the latest from the White House with Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Thornton Cooper will join us bottom of the hour, Democrat running for U.S. Senate. Lots to do, not a lot of time to do it. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Everywhere you look, people are supporting Shelley Moore Capito for Senate. President Trump has endorsed her. So has West Virginians for Life. The National Shooting Sports Foundation named her Legislator of the Year. And she's backed by workers, small business owners, and Republicans across the Mountain State. Now it's your turn. Vote early through May 9th or on Election Day, May 12th.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Every day across West Virginia, healing happens here, where skilled hands and caring hearts save lives. West Virginia hospitals are more than places of care. They are lifelines for our communities. Employing nearly 54,000 people, hospitals power local economies and help communities not just survive, but thrive. During National Hospital Week, we recognize those who care for us all, because healing happens here, and its impact reaches everywhere. A message from the West Virginia Hospital Association.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Sunshine, open roads, and a new Toyota from Dan Cava Toyota World. Lease an all-new Camry for as low as $398 a month. All-new Tundras now up to $8,000 off. All-new Tacomas now up to $4,500 off, or lease as low as $399 a month. $7,500 off the new BZ or 0% financing for 72 months. We've got a Toyota for you at Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Reports this morning that negotiations are moving closer to an agreement to end the war in Iran. Trump officials caution talks have previously fallen apart at the last minute. Let's go to Washington, D.C. and the White House. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern. Jared, are we getting close to a deal with Iran? What's the latest?
It's hard to tell. President Trump has indicated that perhaps they are getting close to a deal, but he's also expressed some skepticism that Iran will follow through on what he says they need to do, and warns that if they fail to agree to this latest proposal, the bombing will recommence, which was kind of an about-face from what we heard from the Secretary of State just yesterday, who said that Operation Epic Fury is over and that the primary objective now is reopening the Strait of Hormuz, Project Freedom, this guiding of commercial vessels through the strait. That is now paused several hours after it was announced as well by President Trump. So There is a lot of confusion, I think, around how close an end to this conflict may be.
Why pause the guiding, Jared? And then if you're a skipper in the strait on a ship, what are you doing today? The map, to me, it looks like they're all just sitting there trying to figure it out.
Well, they've been sitting there for months. That's the problem. You have hundreds of ships there that have been sitting there. The reason why, President Trump says, is because this was at the request of Pakistan, again, because he says that progress is being made on a more comprehensive agreement that would not just reopen the strait, but potentially end the blockade and end the war. So this seems to have been something that President Trump did to show perhaps a measure of good faith at the request of the Pakistanis. But even with this operation, at least on the opening days of it, because remember, this started Monday, it's now just Wednesday, only a handful of ships were making their way through the strait free of harassment from Iran. This was going to be a long-term project. It was going to take a lot of coordination because these private vessels were going to have to decide whether or not they wanted to make the journey, whether or not they thought that the risk was diminished enough by this U.S. operation. So it's not as if this was going to immediately reopen the strait and it was going to be back to like it was before the war. But at least for the time being, the U.S. is pausing its efforts to provide that additional level of support and guidance for these commercial vessels.
Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern joining us. Jared, is there any indication what might be included in the deal that's being negotiated?
President Trump has said that any deal would have to include Iran abandoning its nuclear program, that they would have to declare that they are not going to have a nuclear program, that if there were any domestic energy nuclear program, that would be enriched somewhere else and brought into the country. That is something that Secretary Rubio talked a little bit about yesterday, but the administration has also insisted they're not going to negotiate every point of this through the media. So, again, I think it remains to be seen kind of what those guarantees look like, what happens to the enriched material that the White House says is buried deep underground. How would the U.S. Or another entity gain custody of that? These are all questions that we've been asking for weeks here and have been told that they are part of the ongoing talks and ongoing negotiations.
Jared, shifting to politics, Secretary Rubio hit the briefing room yesterday. He did well, and Washington is talking. Your thoughts?
Secretary Rubio's been an eloquent speaker for a long time. He's a seasoned, polished politician, came up in local Florida politics, served in the state legislature, obviously served in the Senate, has run for president, has always had a contingent of folks who believe that he has what it takes to potentially become president one day. I don't know if it is something he is seeking again in 2028, but certainly that appearance yesterday renewed that speculation, especially given that President Trump has been pretty coy in kind of his view on what his successor would look like. He has kind of been asked about Vance and Rubio and has said that he likes both of them an awful lot, and maybe a ticket with both of them would be really good, but he has not indicated who would be atop that ticket and who would be the number two on that ticket.
He's Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern, always number one on our ticket. Jared, we appreciate it, buddy. Thank you as much.
Thank you.
Coming up, we're going to talk to Thornton Cooper. He is one of the Democrats seeking the party's nomination for U.S. Senate. We'll meet him on the other side of the news break. Plus, we'll get some of your texts before we call it a day. 800-765-TALK, the phone number, 304-TALK, 304. The text line. This is Talkline on Metro News. For 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Happy Wednesday, everyone, and thanks for checking in. Meteorologist Todd Nelson here with your forecast. And lingering showers out there today, more spotty into the afternoon, and then gradual clearing Thursday and Friday. A few more showers arrive Saturday, but a bigger storm system Sunday night and Monday. So still with this unsettled weather pattern. The reason for showers and even some thunderstorms is that cool front. Again, that'll continue to shift east. So as we approach midday, that shower potential is going to be much lighter. Still a few sprinkles or light rain showers into the afternoon. And as I mentioned, Thursday to Friday will start to gradually clear out. But heading into the middle part of the month, it does appear that we'll hold on to some of those cooler than average conditions. Time now for our Fly CRW forecast. It starts at home. Noticing that New York will have some showers, the same front working through, dropping temperatures to 68 there on Friday. And of course, if you're heading to Florida, still very warm. Just a few leftover showers from our panhandle to panhandle. Precipitation amounts generally less than a couple of tenths of an inch, but our temperatures will be much cooler into the 50s and 60s. As we travel to the east, maybe a quarter of an inch in some spots. Again, Papa, nearly a quarter of an inch, 73 degrees on our Wednesday, but trending much cooler for the end of the week. And again, as we travel to the central part of the state, you can see precipitation amounts around a couple to a few tenths of an inch. Isolated thunderstorms still can't be ruled out early. Again, mainly just some spotty stuff into the afternoon, and then Bluefield to Welch around half an inch to maybe 6/10 of an inch, with temperatures still running a little bit on the milder side, right around 70 degrees. Again, gradual clearing on Thursday and Friday. Friday looking a little warmer, more showers though on Saturday.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at Salango Law.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for 3 Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com.
We'll get to your text coming up at 304 Talk 304. Phone calls are always welcome as well. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. If you haven't noticed, we've got a primary election coming up May 12th. Early voting continues through Saturday. We'll tell you all about our coverage here in just a bit. Thornton Cooper is running for the Democrat nomination for U.S. Senate. He's a native and resident of South Charleston and an attorney. He has also been very involved in helping develop proposals for redistricting. I laugh because that is a thing across the country now. Redistricting West Virginia's congressional districts following the 2010 and 2020 census. He's also developed proposals for redistricting the state Senate and House of Delegates. He's running for Congress in the Democrat nomination. He joins us on MetroNews Talkline. Thornton, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, you've certainly been involved in politics throughout your life, but why decide to run for the Democrat nomination for U.S. Senate?
Well, basically, I've been as you said, I've been an activist, and President Trump is trying to undo everything I've fought for my whole life. So I decided I would run. I certainly have experience. I would work for state government for 29 years. I've argued before the state Supreme Court 30 times. I've been before federal courts, argued U.S. constitutional issues, and I think I'm as qualified as anyone to be a senator of from West Virginia and to represent West Virginia. My ancestors, I'm direct descendant people fought in the American Revolution. We know we're celebrating the 250th anniversary and the War of 1812 and the Civil War. I want our experiment to continue.
Thornton, TJ Meadows here. Thanks for joining us. You said you're fighting against everything, or that the Trump administration is trying to undo everything that you have fought for. Give us a few examples. Cite specifically what they are undoing that you would like to prevent them from undoing.
Well, it goes way back. So I have always fought against, discrimination. So, one of those big things right now is, we're not going to have diversity. We're not going to have equity. We're not going to have inclusion. I've been fighting for those things. I grew up in a neighborhood where there were no blacks. I one time went to a demonstration over a rally in South Charleston when at Rock Lake Pool, blacks couldn't even go in the pool. You had a bunch of the guards at the pool with pipes are going to bash the heads of blacks in if they tried to get into the pool. And now it's just he's undoing. He's trying to undo everything I fought for. The three people that he nominated to the U.S. Supreme Court, whom Shelley Moore Capito voted to confirm, they have overruled Roe v. Wade. I think Roe v. Wade was the best decision in my lifetime in terms of the U.S. Supreme Court, and Dobbs is the worst. I would have voted to convict him both times that he was after each impeachment trial. The first thing involving Ukraine, and the second thing involving the riot or insurrection that occurred shortly before Joe Biden became president. But he is, and the other thing is, I'm a lawyer. I believe in the rule of law. Trump doesn't care. He just does what he wants. Take Iran. What he did was illegal. Article 1, Section 8, only the Congress can declare war. So when he just said, well, I decided we want to go and attack Iran, kill its head of state, spend billions of dollars, destroy. He has to get authorization from Congress. And that's separate and apart from the law that was passed in the early 70s about getting authorization. This is a constitutional requirement. So these are just some of the examples of things he's done. He is just, so I'm trying, and I also wanted to do what's best for West Virginia. I want to raise the federal minimum wage. We have the second lowest per capita income in the country. When I was 19, I went to Yale in New Haven, but in the summers I worked in Charleston, the warehouse. The minimum wage in 1969, $1.60 an hour. You know what you'd have to earn now just to have the same purchasing power per hour? $14.36 an hour. And yet the federal minimum wage is only a little bit over $7 an hour, in the state a little bit over $8 an hour. So I've seen a country in which the richest fifth and the poorest fifth was a lot closer back when I was 19 than it is now. They call it a K economy, whatever. But when I was a kid, okay, you had the three-legged stool. One was you had Social Security, you had a defined benefit pension, and you would have your house paid off. These were things that would take care of you in your after you retired. I have those, but most people in the country don't. It is so the poor, the lower half is a lot worse off than it was when I was a teenager. So I'm trying to undo that. I'm trying to bring us back to the way it used to be in terms of distribution of wealth, and also to take care of West Virginia's specific problems.
Thornton Cooper is joining us, Democrat candidate running for U.S. Senate. Would you support increasing the number of justices on the U.S. Supreme Court?
Well, if we raise it from 9 to 12, then if the Republicans take over, aren't they going to raise it from 12 to 15? Where does it end? I don't know what the solution is. I'm just telling you, I would not have voted to confirm the last three. They talked about court packing when FDR was president, and then suddenly they started changing their positions on the U.S. Supreme Court. I think they said a switch in time saved 9. I don't know. I think it'd be very difficult to get through because you have the 60 vote threshold in the U.S. Senate. I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm not. One thing I agree with Shelley on. I'm not a bit receptive to getting rid of the filibuster. the cloture, because I don't want our country whipsawed back and forth. You know, when the Democrats take control of the presidency and the Senate and the House, we like I said, we abolish abortion everywhere in the country, and then 2 years later, that's legalized, without any type of restriction. This is not the way our country is set up. That we're supposed to have federalism. States are supposed to have a big role. Well, weren't you all talking to Sean Fluharty yesterday about this dog track thing? Now, that's just an example. That's just one more example. They're now trying to have a federal bill to outlaw, greyhound racing in the two places that are left, Kanawha County, where I live, and Ohio County. And I say, why are you doing this? I mean, you don't think it's fair to raise greyhounds? Why don't you put a bill in and get rid of the Iditarod over in Alaska? Where Sarah Palin.
So let me go here with that. Let's tie it all back together, because I think being consistent is important. If the feds shouldn't tell us whether or not we can race greyhounds, why should the federal government tell an employer what the minimum wage is going to be? I mean, you talked about raising it, but I mean, from what I see, I went by Sheets the other day. I think they're offering $15 an hour to start. Chick-fil-A was $17 or $18, if I recall. The market's taking care of that. So why should the federal government tell people what they're going to pay?
Because not all of the employers that are covered by the law do that. You're talking about where it's already over 15. But I can tell you, some of the fast food places I go, it's like $12 or $13 an hour. So it hasn't been taken care of all over. You would lift people out of poverty if you did that. And it's been federal legislation since the 1930s. The peak purchasing power of the minimum wage was 1968 when I was 18. And now it's only worth about, then I worked under it in 1969, 1970. It only accounts for half of that. I also want to have universal health care, and I want to get us out of Iran. Those are some of my issues.
Thornton Cooper is Democrat running for U.S. Senate. Thornton, we've got just about 45 seconds here. Why should the Democrats support you when they head to the ballots and the ballot boxes on May 12th or during early voting, which continues through May 12th?
Well, because, as I've explained, I have government experience. I've argued cases in federal and state court. I've been an activist for as I said, for 60 years, and I've been involved in a lot of campaigns. No matter who is the nominee, it's going to be an uphill battle against Joey Moore Capito. But I think I'm the most qualified of the five candidates. That's up to the voters. But whoever the winner is, I will support the nominee, whether it's Thornton Cooper or one of my four worthy opponents.
Thornton, we appreciate your time this morning, and best of luck to you down the stretch here.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Got to take a break. Coming back, we'll get some of your text, 304-TALK-304. That's the text line, 800-765-TALKS, the phone number. When your connection matters most, CityNet is there. From fiber internet to managed IT and cybersecurity, they keep homes and businesses connected, protected, and running strong. Visit citynet.net to learn more. Remember, CityNet connects, protects, and perfects. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
The rule of law protects our communities. Integrity protects our values. Conservative Justice Gerald Titus spent his career fighting for both. As a prosecutor, Titus took on criminals and traffickers. Now, as a justice, he applies the law as written, fairly and independently. Endorsed by law enforcement, he stands with those who protect and serve. Because when courts uphold the law, criminals are held accountable and communities are safer. For Justice Titus, it's personal.
I'm Justice Gerald Titus. I spent my career upholding the rule of law. I was born here, raised here, and now my wife and I are raising our family in West Virginia. We need judges who are fair and apply the law as written and protect the rights of all our citizens.
Vote to keep conservative Justice Gerald Titus on the West Virginia Supreme Court. Vote early or on May 12th. Paid for by Titus for Supreme Court.
Days, evenings, weekends, and holidays. You can't predict when you'll get sick or hurt. But WVU Medicine Urgent Care is prepared to help when you do. Our team treats minor illnesses and injuries and performs services like on-site lab and imaging, vaccinations, and sports physicals. WVU Medicine is ready to assist you and your family when life happens. To find the closest location near you, visit wvumedicine.org/urgent care.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
Running a small business means wearing a lot of hats, and dealing with tech problems shouldn't be one of them. CityNet helps West Virginia businesses keep their technology running smoothly, from networks and computers to backup, security, and day-to-day support. Whether you don't have IT staff or you have a small team that could use extra help, CityNet can take care of the technology or work alongside your team to fill in the gaps. With proactive monitoring, fast local support, and solutions built on CityNet's fiber network, your business stays productive instead of reactive. Call us at 1-844-CityNet to get started.
I'm Tom Willis, running against Shelley Moore Capito for U.S. Senate. Sarah and I love raising our kids here in West Virginia. You're the best people in the world, and it has been my honor to serve West Virginia for 26 years in the West Virginia National Guard, including flood duties all over our great state, and now in the state Senate. Shelley has abandoned our West Virginia traditional Christian family values, is ranked as one of the top insider traders in the U.S. Senate, and instead of negotiating for West Virginia families, got her son appointed as DA. I'm Tom Willis, and I approve this message because it's time for a change, West Virginia.
Paid for by Tom Willis Victory. You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? A lot of times it may be both. The WVU Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Stay ahead of West Virginia weather with Metro News Television. Now bringing you a new way to stay informed across the Mountain State. Get updates daily at 9, noon, and 4. From headlines and precipitation to severe weather threats and highs and lows. See conditions from panhandle to panhandle and check travel with the Fly CRW forecast. Our meteorologists are on your screens and on Talkline, Midday, Hotline, and Sportsline, keeping you up to date. Metro News Television weather. Accurate, local, and always on.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. Take your pick from our massive selection. Now up to $5,500 off select new Acadias and 3.9% for 60 months. The great deals continue with our large selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
May not feel like it, but boating season is right around the corner. And now is the perfect time to check out all of the great deals on pontoon and fishing boats at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Check out the entire inventory at LouWendellMarineSales.com. Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun. 304-TALK, 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. Let's get to a couple of texts here while we have some time. Texter says, guys, the problem is that raising minimum wage tends to push companies to reduce labor and invest in capital, oftentimes reducing total jobs and options for people to gain experience. See California fast food wage law. And you beat me to it, TJ. with the response.
Bingo.
Yeah, bingo.
Bingo.
That's exactly what I thought of.
Well said.
So I got to pay
Area
workers $20 an hour to work at pick your favorite fast food restaurant. Don't want to single anybody out. All right, well, I'll cut the labor in half, and I'll get touchscreen kiosks to order instead of having 3 people at the register. Simple.
To the sir or madam that sent that text, Adam Smith applauds you.
304 Talk 304. Texter says fast food workers don't need paid a living wage. It's not like they are essential workers or anything crucial to the economy functioning. Oh, wait, ... says the texter. I got to read that one before I read it on the air. I'll come back to it. Texter says, sorry, TJ. Little Marco, spelled with 2 Ds, well done, called Trump a con artist when he was running for president in 2020. Also pointed out that Trump has small hands. Vance will crucify Marco with his own words.
Maybe. I mean, it'll get nasty if the two square off, if they don't have some kind of allegiance to one another or a plan. But I'll say this, man. He did well.
He looks the part.
Yesterday. I think he has put better messaging out, easier to understand on why we're in Iran than Trump has.
Oh, yeah. The 2 best people in that administration, as far as messaging goes, TJ, Rubio, and I would put Scott Bessent right behind him as far as the communicators and the messengers in that administration. Several others have been a dumpster fire. And you know which ones they are. They're no longer with the administration. But those two have been very good in some very tight set. The fact that Scott Bessent had to go out and defend tariffs and did a pretty good job of it, as far as the messaging goes, it shows you the kind of talent I think he has. And Rubio, look, it is what is today, May 6th, 2026. We have no idea who's going to be the front runner for the Republican presidential nomination in 2028. No idea.
No, but he's keeping himself in the hunt.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be in the mix.
Good job. Yeah. And here's the thing with him, though. It's like he can do everything and do it well. He does everything. He leads the band at halftime. He was DJing over the weekend. And more impressive than the variety of his skill set is the fact that he doesn't fail. He seems to do it all well, and hence more and more ends up on his plate. And I have to tell you, for a guy that looks for quality and a guy that looks, when he goes into a voting booth, I want something tangible. What have you been able to manage? He certainly has a resume that speaks to that. So if voters are somehow compelled by that, and they may not be in this day and age, I think Rubio sets pretty well in that category.
But just don't skip past this elect. We got to survive the next 4 days, TJ. Here we are. We're talking about 28. We got to survive the next 4 or 5 days. Get to May 12th. By the way, May 12th is primary election day here in West Virginia, and we will have continuing coverage across the Metro News Radio Network election night, 7 to midnight, and later if we need to go later. We will be here. I will be here. You will be there in Charleston. Jeff Jenkins, Brad McElhinny will stop by. Greg Hunter is going to be breaking down numbers, and we've even got the semi-retired guy who's going to hang out with us for a little while. Hoppy is also going to be by to help add some context, plus Chris Lawrence and our reporters across the network, and a network of stringers in all 55 counties, keeping us up to date on the numbers as they come in. So we'll have you covered on everything happening across the state on Tuesday night, 7 to midnight.
Think about that. 55 stringers in every county, all the support staff we have, all the on-air staff. I mean, what do we got, like 100 people working this election? Nobody in West Virginia can say that.
I don't know how many people are working it. You know what? Ask Kelly. She's the one who's really in charge of all this.
Very
Kelly.
True.
She's like Cher, just Kelly. That's all you need to know. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
When it's your family, your kids, your home, your parenting time, you want somebody on the Court of Appeals who lives and breathes family law. Even if you don't win your case, you still should feel that you've been heard. I'm Jim Douglas. I'm a family court judge, and I'm asking you to put real family court experience on the Court of Appeals for your future.
Paid for by the Committee for Family Law Experience for ICA. Susan Shepard, Chair.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal, and why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
Tens of thousands of hardworking West Virginians earn their living in our state's growing natural gas industry, including thousands for Antero Resources, West Virginia's top natural gas producer. Antero's investments are boosting our local workforce and small businesses. We're proud to give back and invest locally to support West Virginia workers producing West Virginia energy. But the Mountain State's best days are ahead, and Antero Resources is just getting started. Visit AnteroResources.com to learn more.
Everywhere you look, people are supporting Shelley Moore Capito for Senate. President Trump has endorsed her. So has West Virginians for Life. The National Shooting Sports Foundation named her Legislator of the Year. And she's backed by workers, small business owners, and Republicans across the Mountain State. Now it's your turn. Vote early through May 9th or on Election Day, May 12th.
I'm Shelley Moore Capito, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Capito for West Virginia.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
Nasal obstruction, stuffiness, blockage. Is it allergy? Is it sinus? Odd times it may be both. The Delview Medicine Sinus and Allergy Center is a clinic where we house all specialties that take care of allergies and sinuses together. You name it, we have it. It's one-stop shopping. Anything ENT that needs done for the citizens of West Virginia, we can provide that care.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Got $10? Then you've got a shot at $50,000. Grab the new scratch-off Lions Share, where your ticket could win big time. Watch for the 5 times multiplier because your prize could be 5 times sweeter. Get your chance to win the Lions Share of the prize today at a West Virginia lottery retailer. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Jason Huffman, Americans for Prosperity, will join us on the show tomorrow. Watch for the ducks on Collins Ferry Road in Morgantown. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.